Okay, so we were discussing about decomposition last class. So complex problems, how you split or decompose into smaller sub problems so that it is easy to solve. Okay, so that is one major cornerstone of problem solving piece. I mean, computational thinking. So we discussed an example of crime scene, how you will identify. So investigation, how it will happen. So many small sub problems will be there. Similarly, if you want to create an app, an application or a software, so instead of directly just starting to build, you will have so many sub problems like these. No, sorry. And what if you have something like this, like say arranging the DVDs. So again, you have certain sub problems by which you will solve each of those automatically. Your full problem will get solved. So then creating a computer game and all that. Then even we saw the example of quadratic equation square roots. So actually that is a complex task, finding the root, square root of a quadratic equation. But when you split it into sub problems, it is easier to solve. So I think that's it about decomposition. Next is pattern recognition. Hope you remember what we discussed about pattern recognition. So we were telling that, like say for example, when a small child is learning, okay, so the first time he sees a cat, he would not recognize it's a cat. But like say when he grows up and he becomes like say 2 3 year old etc, he would identify that it is a cat. How is he identifying? He has some basic idea like okay, cat would look like this, it has two eyes, it has a tail, it has this much height, and then it has fur and all that. So some pattern he is trying to keep when he sees multiple cats. And now when a new cat he sees, he understands that similar pattern he has seen and it was identified as cat. Similarly, I think we discussed even another example like say for your exams, if you get a question, so what you will usually think is first you will see whether you have seen similar patterns in your class. So whether you have solved some similar problems, that is what you will first think of. Then once you get very similar problem in your mind, you will think how you have solved it. Now similar to that, we find to solve our question also. So same way. Now if for example, if it is say any task, let it be, usually how we identify is we identify some patterns. Okay, so for example, if you're asked to develop a computer game or say some application, so what happens is you try to identify whether there are some similar applications available. Say for example, I'm asking you to develop a university management software. So of course you will see whether there are existing university management softwares and what are the functionalities, what kind of things it provides, and those kind of things. So now you also have some idea of how you should go forward. So for that, we usually identify the patterns. So once first step was our decomposition. So once we have decomposed a complex problem, now we have smaller sub problems. Now we have to see similarities or patterns. Okay, so why it is required? Because it is helping us to solve our complex problems more efficiently. Okay, so when we decompose our complex problem, now when you have smaller sub problem, we try to find patterns. Okay, patterns are similarities or characteristics that some of the problems share. Okay, so what is pattern recognition? It involves finding the similarities or patterns among small decomposed problems that can help us solve one or more complex problems more efficiently. So let us take a simple example of drawing a series of cats. Okay, so for example, you are asked to draw a series of cats. So for first thing is you have some common characteristics for the cats, isn't it? Like say it has all of them. All cats have eyes, tails, fur, etc. So this is what it will come to your mind first because you already know that. So first, what did you look for? Actually, you looked for some common pattern. So all cats are having this. Okay, but of course, when you draw a cat, maybe that cat is having a blue eye, sorry, a greenish eye or a black eye or brown eye and all that. But then you know that it has eyes, it has tails, it has fur. So that is like a pattern what you have identified when you start drawing a cat. So that's what they are saying. So once we know how to describe one cat, now we can describe others also. So we have to generalize, in the sense we have to find out some kind of commonality or common characteristic, or say some pattern, so that you can actually come up with solution easily. So only difference would be like say tail. You know that it has tail. A cat would have tail, but then maybe each cat would have a different sized tail. Like say it may have a long tail, a fluffy tail, or whatever. So that is different. But then you know that all cats are having tail. Similarly, all cats are having eyes that you are aware of. But then the kind of eyes would be little different. So like that fur also. So this is like how you identify patterns. Okay, this you do in your real life, but then this is how you have to do in your computational thinking also. So why are these finding patterns important? Because patterns will make our tasks simpler. They're easy to solve when they share patterns, because same kind of solution we can have here also. More patterns we can find, easier and quicker our task would become, solution would become. And then like say for example, if you're drawing number of cats, finding a pattern to describe cat in general, that is like now we said all of them have eyes, tails, fur, and maybe a height, like approximately cats usually have a rough height, isn't it? Like it may not be very tall and all. So you know like some rough figure of it, because you know a pattern. Now you have that in mind when you start drawing. Now only that specific things you will bring in. Okay, so that is what if you don't identify this, what happens is each time you draw a cat, you have to like go and figure out how a cat looks like. So each time you're going to repeat that. So if you find out a common pattern, then you can actually think of that when you make use of it when you draw each cat. Okay. So that's what they are telling. So this would slow us down. It is not telling that you won't be able to come up with a solution, but it may be inefficient, and it may be little slow also. You may not be come up with that solution fast. Like say for example, you're talking about now, when I say about cat, it may look very obvious. Say for example, I'm asking you to develop a computer game. Okay, so you assume that you don't have any, or maybe an application, a banking application software I am asking you to develop. Assume that you have not used any of the banking softwares, and then you are not aware of anything, and you are not even going and looking for any of the banking sites. Okay, or maybe something like a Paytm. Okay, or Paytm, GP, etc., where you can do online transactions. No, if you have not gone through any of those softwares, you don't have an idea of how it would look like. Okay, so what you will have to do is like each minute things you may have to figure out yourself, and then sometimes it may not actually look like a banking software also, because you don't know how it looks like. So when you have, like if you have gone through like say Paytm, GPay, etc., now when I ask you to make some develop some software which is helping in transaction like this, say money transfer and all, you already have some pattern in your mind, like it should be something like to your GPay or say Paytm, etc. So you know the functionalities, how it looks like, what are the features it provides, etc. So it is easy for you to solve the task. Did you understand when we say about patterns, what is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that is what we have to see.
Yes, ma'am.
So when, yeah, okay. So when you have some kind of problem in your computational thinking when it comes, so you are supposed to even think of similar patterns which are already available, so that we also can design for something similar. Okay, so actually that's it in patterns. Let us just move on to abstraction. Just are you able to see my screen? What do you see?
Yes, ma'am. Recognizing
Abstract.
patterns, abstraction.
Lecture for
Abstraction.
abstraction.
Okay, okay, fine, fine. So next is abstraction. I hope you remember these are all cornerstones of computational thinking, decomposition, um, what is that?
Logical
Pattern
thinking.
recognition, abstraction,
Abstraction,
and
algorithm,
algorithm. Yeah. So two of them
algorithm.
we have, yeah, correct. So two of them we have already seen. Now we are going to see what is abstraction. So what was abstraction? What was the example? What we discussed in
Ma'am,
simple terms?
abstraction
Important
means just showing the
information,
essential information and not the entire thing.
Yeah.
ignoring
So
the
some
irrelevant
yeah,
information.
Ignoring the
exactly.
background details.
Exactly. Ignore the irrelevant details. So it is required, but then it is like very obvious or very irrelevant in this place. So we only highlight the information what is very important. So for example, the naive example just for you to relate would be when I say open the door, I'll just say the instruction open the door. I won't say get up from your seat, walk 10 steps forward, take the knob of the door, turn it, move it towards you. All those things I won't say. I'll just say open the door. Okay, though you are doing all these things, I won't say all that because it is there. It is irrelevant to say that. Okay, so that is what we say abstraction. Okay, so let us see. For example, email. I think most of you would have sent emails, isn't it? You have used your emails, mostly Gmail, or you may have even others. Now, at least now, though, in your Amrita mail also, you would have started. So, what do you basically have? You have compose, inbox, outbox, sent mails, trash, and all that. Okay, so those things you are aware of, but then you don't have to actually know how the internal working of compose mail, send mail. Do you actually see how it is coded or how it is built for to use it? No, right? You don't
No,
know
no.
how that is. We don't. The user need not know. That is the beauty. The user need not know how it is actually sending one mail to another user. Just to use it, you don't have to even know all that. So, as a user, okay. So when I talk about this perspective is user's perspective. So just to use these options like compose, inbox, outbox, etc., you don't have to know the internal working of it. So that is abstraction. So that won't be mentioned. You will just have a button to click. You click on that, a new window would come where you will type the mail. So but we don't know what is actually happening, all those minute details we are not aware. So that is our email example. Now TV remote, of course we all use TV remote. It's a interface between the user and the TV. But each time you press a button, do you know what kind of circuit is there inside the remote, etc.? Do we need to know? No, isn't it? We just use it. So we need to just press the buttons to change the channels or increase the volume, etc. But we don't actually need to know how that each button is working. What is the circuit behind it? It is not required. So the user does not need any information about the internal of the remote to use it. So that is another example. Now, mobile phone. Of course, you will dial some numbers using your keypad, but you don't know how that sending and receiving messages or receiving calls, etc. works. All that is not required for you to know just to do a call or a message. Okay, so these are all abstraction. Okay, so that is hidden from you. That is not shown. That is not there because that is not required. Okay, it's not that it is not there. So it is there, but then it is not required to say, because just to use the phone you don't have to know that. Okay, so abstraction is once you have recognized, so once you have decomposed, then you have recognized patterns in the sub problems, then we have abstraction to gather some. So what happens is we have so many characteristics, but we try to identify only the important ones, ignoring the characteristics which we don't have to concentrate. Okay, so it is specific details would be little filtered out. Okay, so we mean anything with multiple levels where upper levels hit height. Let us see. Okay, so we are actually trying to create a representation of idea of what we are trying to solve. So like say for example, one person says he is my employee. Okay, so when somebody says he is an employee, actually that person would have a name, age, health, degree of study, work experience, so many things. But when I say he is my employee, though he has all that, I am not telling all that, isn't it? I want to say that he is my employee. Similarly, like a doctor says he is my patient. Okay, there are so many things actually hidden in that. Actually, there are more details, but which he won't say. Like say, uh, he has in mind the weight, age, height, blood group, symptoms, etc. But then, when you say he is my patient, it is just what he's just telling that he's that particular person is that doctor's patient. That's it he is telling. But actually, there are more details which are not relevant here, so it is not shown. Okay. So abstraction allows us to create a general idea of what the problem is and how to solve it. Okay, so it's actually like how to come up with a model. Okay, so otherwise what happens is we are going to all the specific details and then comes to a confusion. So let us see what happens. So pattern recognition, we looked at the problem of having in the previous example to draw a series of cats. So we understood that tail, fur, etc. we'll have. Okay, so we all have understand that cats have some general characteristics. So, but it has also specific characteristics like say black fur, long tail, green eyes, etc. They're all kind of specifics. Okay, each cat would have. So, in order to do a basic draw a basic cat, we just need to know that it has a tail, fur, eyes, etc. Okay, but we don't have to know what sounds like what sound a cat makes. Okay, or it likes fish, etc. are irrelevant here, so we kind of filter it out. Okay, we have to know that it has tail, fur, eyes, etc. But maybe the size, etc. doesn't matter. So our maybe our idea is to just draw a basic cat. So all these specifics are filtered out. Okay, so we just take the generic characters. Okay, so with our cat example, if so many details are there, what happens is uh, we'll have more of confusion when we draw the cat. So rather what we'll have is we'll have a basic idea of what the cat is, how the cat is, etc. And then go up and plus some specifics like say it likes fish. All that is irrelevant here. Of course, the cat is actually having those features, but then it is not relevant here, so those kind of things are not taken. Okay, so how do you perform this abstraction? So abstraction is gathering of general characteristics and filtering out of the details and characteristics which we don't need. Okay, for example, say while we are baking a cake. Okay, some general characteristics, that is cake needs ingredient, each ingredient should have specific quantity, cake has some timings to bake, isn't it? So that is what we'll keep. Okay, so that we have the general pattern, we don't have specific details we don't have to consider. So general patterns, they're just differentiating. General patterns is we need to know that a cake has ingredients. We don't have to know uh, each what each ingredients are. That can be added later on. Okay, it is not that we don't have to know at all, not like that, but it can be taken care later. And when you say baking the cake, we have to just provide them these kind of things, like each minute detail need not be mentioned. So we need to know that each ingredient has a specified quantity, but we may not have to know that each quantity exactly how much it is. So like say for example, when you give a cake, you will get to know what are the contents. Like each content in percent in like how much quantity etc. is not required. Similarly, each quantity needs some specific time, but then each exact timing etc. is not required. So these kind of generic and specific. Okay, maybe I'll stop with that. Okay, just a second. System got stuck. I think that's it. One more slide, so I'll maybe finish it. Just a second. So creating a model. So model is a generic idea of problem. Please mute yourself. So a rough idea of problem what we are trying to solve. That is what is actually the model. So the model represents in general our cat. Okay, we are not talking about each cat. Model means roughly how our cats would look like. So that is our model. Okay. So then from the model we can actually understand what how our cat looks. Any cat would look like this, and what are the usual patterns, etc. So when baking a cake, of course, each small details like say sponge cake, fruit cake, etc. may not be mentioned. So baking a cake is a task where we'll identify the generic characteristics. Those patterns are identified. Irrelevant, very specific details are ignored. So this is actually, and we are coming up with a model. Okay. So for that, we are actually filtering out certain very specific irrelevant detail. So that is about our abstraction also. Actually, that's done. Actually, from next topic onwards, it is more of your algorithm and all that. Okay, so that'll be more interesting and you'll have problems to solve than just pure theory. Okay, if you have any doubt, you can ask.